All right, guys, here I am, live coming at you. Hey, I want to check in with you guys again because I know this is a really, really hard time for you guys. Um, Nobody viewing yet, so I'm gonna let it wait a second. Um, this is really a hard time for a lot of you guys. I know you're facing a lot of confusion, stuff like that. But those of you who are my viewers, I kind of want to review you guys here. First person in, I don't know who that is, but hi, and thanks for being here. There we go. Now we're up to 4. Okay, it's starting to grow. This is 14. Doing better. Who's over there? Phantom. Awesome, guys. Hey. So I want to do a question and answers for you guys here today. Since you guys are here, um, times are hard. You guys need some support. I'm here to support you. I'm here to tell you I love you guys. I love you for loving your dogs. I love you for taking the care of your dogs that you are. So I do my members ask me anything all the time. I haven't posted one today, so here I am. Shoot me a question. I'm going to give you an answer. Do you teach down from the sit position? I don't. And I'll tell you the reason why I don't teach down from a sit position, because it creates a dog that thinks they have to sit first and then they can lay down. It also teaches a dog that they think they have to sit first before they can go down. So I prefer using the down command, teaching stand to down, stand to down, stand to down, and then teaching the sit separately. That's my answer on that. Obviously, for more detailed questions, you can go to my site. You can go to all the other videos here. So shoot me questions. Are dog parks ever a good idea? Oops, hang on a second. Are ever a good idea to allow my dog to run and play with others? I'll tell you when they're a good idea is when you know all the other dogs at the dog park. What I don't like about dog parks, and you guys know that I did Bound Angels and I've taught countless dogs, to play together. I put 17 pit bulls together and all that. It's hard because when the dogs don't know each other, there's a struggle, there's a challenge, there's a lot of issues with the dogs not getting along and potential for a fight. That's that. Do I have beginner playlist on YouTube? I don't have a beginner playlist on YouTube. That's a really good idea. I should do that. In my member section, I do have that. How do you present a new puppy to an older sensitive dog? I just did a video on that in my member section. I'm not trying to just sell the member section. I want you guys to know that I'm here for you guys. It's the way you want to introduce them is called a stacked introduction. You want the dogs to meet nose to tail first. I would also make sure the puppy is crated for a long time first. Hi, honey, Janet's here. I want you guys to know that it's all about safety, and that's really the key thing. You want it to be successful. When we brought the Dwayne-O-Mator into the house, he was a lot of work, a lot of energy, and so was Goofy. So that was a really hard introduction, but we got them. Goofy has good structure. He's kind of a real dominant dog, but he's neutral about all the other dogs. So that was an easy introduction. And by the way, just so you know, here I can go. What's a good way to increase my puppy's reaction to commands? Make them more exciting. Be funny. Be engaging. Be interesting to your dog. That's really going to be a lot more fun. My bull terrier is 4 months old, and he always jumps and bites the people who always come on the house. What can I do? You can teach the dog a sit command. Make sure the dog sits. Make sure that people don't talk to the dog. Hey, Thomas. Make sure that they don't engage the dog in any way. Don't look at him. Don't talk to him. Don't touch him. And then that will give the dog a lot better opportunity to to know that it's not about him. The longer questions, I'm going to have a hard time with. I'm not going to be able to read them. Let's see. Best dog for first-time owner, German Shepherd or Doberman? Neither. For a first-time owner, you want to get something kind of chill. And maybe if the dog is chill, it is, but generally German Shepherds and Dobermans are more high-strung, and it's going to be a harder dog for you to handle. So I wouldn't recommend one of those. Get a lab, get a little mix from the shelter, something like that. Nothing too high drive. You want to come into this with a really, really good experience. Golden and a lab, that's a good thing to do there. Oops, I'm sorry, I don't want to put my finger right on the camera. I have 2 Dobie puppies under 1 year old. With treats, they pay attention somewhat, but without treats, they blow me off. Well, you got 2 dogs. I always tell you guys, don't get 2 dogs. Don't get 2 dogs together. It's a really, really hard training thing. And, you need to just stay with the treats. That's all you're going to do. I'm going to keep these questions real short because I want to hit as many people as I can. Labs are the best first dog. They are. They are. What do I think about Matador breed being created? Mastador? I can't imagine it being a good idea. I really am against all these mixed breedings. I'll be honest with you. I really am. I mean, if you want a mixed breed dog, go to the shelter, man. I mean, it's bullshit. All this stuff is really, really crazy. Um, at what point do you feel, hang on, another dog is being too aggressive at the park? Man, that's a feeling thing. You got to go on that one. You got to know the answer to that. You got to know if your dog is obviously going to show you signs that the dog is shutting down, the dog's not having a good time at it, and is getting stressed out by the other dogs. That's showing you. You go by your gut. If you think a dog is being too aggressive, first of all, don't go to the park. Don't go to dog parks. Don't go to dog parks. Don't go to dog parks. Stacy, you're against designer breeds. Good. Good. You love the members. That's good. Thank you for that, by the way. That's how I support the YouTube channels with that. I walked aboard Bernie's mountain dog, a female 10 months old yesterday, and it opened my eyes to my such high expectations of Monty. What would be some fun things to train to relax myself, Monty? Thomas, you just got to keep going, man. You just can't keep thinking too much. You just got to enjoy your dog. Let's see. How do we get a social stimulation if we avoid dogs? Because social stimulation, or what you're trying to get the dog to be socialized, has nothing to do with dog parks. It has zero to do with dog parks. You need to make sure that the dog gets social interaction by walking him on a leash, meeting another dog on the street, and stuff like that. That's socialization. The other one has nothing to do with that. I'm going back on it. Any advice on high prey drive? So some dogs have really, really high prey drive. Some dogs don't. If you're getting a dog, you're going to know if the dog has high prey drive, because as a puppy, it's going to have high prey drive. As the dog that you're getting, it's going to have high prey drive. As the dog, the parents of the dog will have high prey drive. And if you're getting yourself into that, know it. Because like Janet and I got Dwayne and we knew, at least I knew, that he had high prey drive. And it's just something you got to know. It's something you're going to deal with. All right, I'm trying to get here. How to train 2-year-old Ridgeback to not jump on people out of excitement. I always talk about this. Teach the dog a sit command. Don't let people start playing with the dog. Giddy, giddy, giddy. Ooh, Gucci, Gucci, Gucci. None of that bullshit. Don't do that. It's not worth it. All right, what is this here? How old are you? You're in great shape. That's very nice. I'm old. I think I'm 27. Ask Janet. Daniel, take it hunting. I'm trying to just get here what's going on here. Okay, my dog is aggressive toward animals, but he is friendly with all humans. How to make him aggressive toward intruders? Don't ask me those questions, guys. I hate those questions. You don't want your dog to be aggressive towards humans. If you buy a gun, you don't need your dog to be aggressive towards humans. I will not answer that question. I think it's stupid. I hate it. I'm sorry. Thanks, Jan. Jan says I'm in great shape. She knows me better than anybody, by the way. Okay, I'm trying to get to some of the, okay. Well, I don't know what your question is there, Demond. This is really hard to read, just so you know. I got almost 100 people here. It's okay for my dog to be protective of his ball when it comes to other dogs? No, it's not okay for your dog to be protective of that, because that ball should belong to you. The ball belongs to you, the dog belongs to you. And just so you know, if the dog starts getting protective over things, he'll essentially make a decision to become protective over it with you and other people. It's a dangerous thing. It does absolutely no good for the dog to have that kind of a personality. So make sure the dog understands you control the object, you control the play, you can shut it off at any time. That's really, really important. So, yeah, that's very good over there, Thomas. I just want my dog to bark when people come on my property, then welcome as I do. Okay, so that's different. So teaching the dog, dogs will naturally alert bark, and you can put that on cue. So when the dog starts barking, like you just teach the dog to bark, you frustrate him or whatever, and you put it on command, like speak or bark or revere or pass off or whatever you want to use. Once you have that, then you have it on cue. You put it on cue, so I can tell Goofy at any time that the dog will bark. Like if I see somebody coming, like if I was nervous, which I'm not nervous, what do I care, right? I'm a big, strong guy. Ask Janet. Then I just kind of tell them what I want them to do, not how I want. I'm sure I'm reading and talking at the same time. We're up to almost 100 people on this, so I think this is a good idea. I'm going to try to do this for you guys every single day. Janet wants me to do an online, a live stream training. I'm going to do that for you guys too. So if you go to the front of my site, robertcabral.com, which you can all see, I will post the times. The times will be California times when I will do a new Facebook chat, a YouTube chat, a live video, or a training video. And I'm going to try to do something every day. And you guys send some love over to Janet, because Janet's going to be filming this for me. So, I want to keep you guys. I want to keep you guys happy. I want to keep you busy. I want to keep you in your house, keep you safe, and I want to keep you positive with your dog so that you don't ever make a decision to give them up. So I'm going to go another 5 or so minutes on this, maybe even 10 minutes. Who knows? I'm feeling really generous today. Really generous. So a lot of questions. Shoot me some more questions. Okay, here we go. When would you use a prong collar? It will depend on the dog. And then the eye drops, I'm going to get into that one in a second. But if I don't hit your questions, then just kind of ask me the question back. Prong collars are a great training tool. We started using one on the Dwayne-A-Mater a little bit. A few months ago, Janet had a little harder time controlling him because he's super dominant. And Janet's a woman. She's a very feminine woman. She's a very beautiful woman. But she had a little harder time. We taught Dwayne-A-Mater leash pressure, and Dwayne-A-Mater's just a dream. And he learned the control, which now can happen without that. So really, really good thing to do. Thomas, what are you asking me here? What are some good distractions to have in the background while training to work on engagement? Well, first of all, don't start with too many distractions, but just, it can be anything. It can be cars driving by, it can be a dog walking by, it can be, a radio playing in the background. It doesn't really matter. It can be anything. How about approaching at the entrance of the home? Should they be in place before the okay to do so? I don't know what that means. I didn't get your question, Desmond. Let me look back here. Okay, here it is. My dog ages 3 months plus, and now because too much hair fall and red spots also, and his back leg becomes little band. What to do, please? Well, first of all, you're gonna need to get the dog to a veterinarian. If I'm not a veterinarian, do you guys ask me veterinary questions? I can't answer them. I'm not a vet. It's not in my best interest to do that, because you need to see a vet. It could be something really serious. I don't know, or it could be nothing. I'm not a vet. I don't even play one on TV. I play a dog trainer. Do you have a series on how to train a more stubborn breed like a husky? Would you be open to it? There's no series, Zach. It's, you just got to just train your dogs in order to have a good relationship with them. In other words, there's no one dog breed, I should say, that's more stubborn than another. Once, if you learn my system, you can train any single dog. I've trained huskies, shepherds, mounts. I've trained pits, rots, terriers. I've trained every breed of dog because I use the same approach. It's a consistent, steady approach. Okay, how do you train a 10-week-old? All my puppy videos. Just watch my puppies videos. It'll tell you exactly how to train puppies. My finger, I don't think can you see my finger up there? No, okay, good. At what age is a puppy able to go for a 2 to 3 mile run with me? Running, you're going to wait till it's after a year old. You don't want to run dogs that are under a year old. It's just not a good idea. How to build confidence in a dog. Also, a certain large breed, she screams when they chase her. Well, don't let them chase her. What are you doing letting a dog chase your dog? Don't let that happen. You need to protect your dog. And if you know she's fearful and you know she's a little scared, then don't let other dogs chase your dog. You got to protect your dog. You got to control the environment. And teaching a dog a good, solid obedience is a good way to teach them that. 20-month-old German Shepherd instantly lays down when he sees another dog coming. When we're walking, he wants to play, but how do I stop that? Teach him engagement. Teach him to focus on you, to look at you, to do something different. If he lays down, say, hey, come here, sit, good boy. Heel, and get him to do something. You got to build that confidence. The reason he's laying down is because he's shutting down. He's getting, he's getting more, he's going into a defensive drive to try to protect himself. You got to show him he doesn't need to do that. Do you have tips and, I don't know what that, you lost the rest of the question there. Robert, how do you think dog training will evolve either through new technique or technology? I think the problem with new techniques and new technology is that it just changes things into a fad, right? So in other words, when this whole bullshit positive only clicker stuff came about, clicker training, I mean, it's fine. I don't have any problem with marker training or using a clicker to market. I don't like clickers. I mean, at some point, maybe I'll try a clicker if I have a puppy to do that. But I like using a verbal marker. I think it connects me with the dog better. It doesn't make the dog rely on anything, any outside element. I personally prefer it that way. When you talk about new technologies, I mean, they've refined electric collars so much that they're really such a humane tool now that, and I got one right here. Look, here's an electric collar. I'm in the car. Look at this. I happen to have an electric collar right here. See? And there's a remote control, which means I can use it anytime because it's a super fair and cool way to train a dog that's very, very fair. I can train him at a distance. Hang on, I got another one here. How do I console my wife when our puppy just peed on our comforter? She just had it dry cleaned. That's a question for Janet. That's a Janet question. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Janet's really cool about that. She's very, very cool about that. All right. Hi, Robert. I have a boxer, American Bulldog. She is 4 months. How far is a good walk and one time a day? I would take her 2 times a day, and I would take her, around the block a couple times. That's it. Do a lot of engagement training. Get the dog to really engage with you. We use marker word. Yes, simple. Yeah, that's what I use too. There you go. Janet gives great advice, by the way, right? She says just hug her. Women like to be hugged. I hug Janet all the time. Would you prefer raw diet or dried food? Man, okay, so there's a really, really hard question. I did raw diets for a long time with my dogs. I did kibble for a long time, a good quality kibble. I'm back on raw now for some personal reasons, which I'll share with you at some point. But you got to make sure that a dog gets all the nutrients. It's really hard to do on a homemade diet. How to deal with a dog that is really reactive to cats on walks. Control the dog, right? Teach the dog that obedience. In other words, I could answer every question about dog training in one word: obedience. Any issue you have with your dog, you can solve if you teach the dog solid obedience. When you teach a dog obedience and you teach the dog that it's more important for the dog to listen to you than to do what they want, you're controlling the dog and you're helping the dog to really learn a life skill. That's critical. Yeah, raw diets are great. I mean, there's a lot of crap dog food out there, a lot of it. And I don't mean I've fed everything from Purina Pro Plan to Merrick to Acana to Lucy Pet Food is a good pet food. I've done raw. I think it's just a matter of it being a good diet for your dog, and you'll have to see what proteins agree with your dogs. Like, I'm against the whole grain-free thing and have been more so because all they're doing is they're putting so many chickpeas and garbanzo beans and all this stuff into the dogs. So when all the dogs were dying of DCM, I think it was called, it wasn't because there wasn't any grains in the food. It's because they were supplementing the grains with all this other shit, and they were putting an abundance of filler. Remember, think about it. You buy a 50-pound bag of dog food for, let's say, $75. That's $1.50 a pound. You can't buy meats for that price, right? So you're ending up putting a bunch of corn or beans or something in there. That's not something that really is that good for dogs. I don't think grains are bad for dogs. I given my dog oatmeal and rice for years. I never had a problem with it. So don't buy all the hype. This is the thing. As soon as something new comes along, then you guys buy it really bad. Oh, look, Namibia. That's very, very cool. Hang on one second. I got a call here. Hello? Hey. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. 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 Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Let me give you this woman's number because she's been the one who's been advising me. Hang on. One second. Is it her? Yeah. Call Terry. Hang on. I got to. Okay. Hang on. It's 254 913 7476.
7476. And you said it's Terry with a T?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I want to touch base with somebody who has like expertise in this area. I'm a CHTV myself, but we do a lot of wound healing.
Yeah, she's done a lot of it for this situation. Okay, cool. All right, thank you. Okay. Yeah, do. Thank you. Bye. All right, sorry about that, guys. That was the vet's office. That was really rude, but I had to take the call because Goofy comes first. And I want you guys to always also think that make sure your pet comes first. Okay, let's see. I missed a bunch of questions. Okay, sorry about all that. We can almost hear that person. I know you can. I'm sorry. Let's see. Well, okay. Thanks for waiting, by the way. I got a question. Okay, short blast of compressed air. Okay, I don't like the compressed air thing, by the way. I don't dig it at all. Okay, I'm gonna actually put my glasses on. I'm gonna do another 5 minutes. Am I boring you guys or what? What are some of the raw foods you feed dogs? Do you boil raw foods? No, you don't boil raw foods because the reason they're raw is because they're raw. So you don't want that. Okay, difficulty getting protective instinct out of Ridgebacks, resource guarding, rescue, resource. I think he's trying to say resource guarding from me with food and even the couch from my roommate, e-collar training. Difficult getting, oh, you're trying to, okay, so you're trying to get it out. Yeah, so you need, first of all, I wouldn't use an e-collar to get protective instincts out of a dog because I think you're gonna have to fry the dog, and especially a dog like a Ridgeback. There's a lot of guys on YouTube doing that bullshit training where they just shock the dogs out of it. It's not gonna work. You need to build a relationship. You need to, I know you can hear me. I was talking to the vet. Sorry. You need to build trust with a dog and respect, and you're not gonna do that with, shocking the dog. It's not gonna work. It's just not going to work. Yeah, you can use a long leash. You got to build respect. You got to. I would hand feed the dog. If the dog has resource issues with food, make sure he knows there's plenty of food. He's not going to run out of food. If he has resource issues with toys, have a couple of toys. Make sure he knows there's a lot of toys. Then start building structure, and don't bring things into a dog that has resource issues that he's going to be protective about early on, because then you're going to have a fight on your hands, and you're going to lose the fight every time, and the dog's going to get hurt. So I wouldn't do it. All right, let's see where you are. How to leash train inside the home? Well, I don't know how big your home is. It's going to be really, really hard. How to deal with ringworm before? If so, how? I can't give you medical advice. I'm going to try to have a vet on to talk about all these things, but I can't give you medical advice. Anyway, yeah, thank you for saying that about Goofy. Yeah. Okay, somebody said, can you answer my question, please? You can't ask me to answer the question because I can't see it. So, love your videos, full of good stuff, observation. I wish more people would take the trouble to learn how dogs are, behavior gestures. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So here's a great question. Can you explain how to differentiate and train words yes, okay, and good? So that's really, really easy. So in the way I train, it's a marker-based system. It's all marker training. But what we're doing is we're teaching the dog a command. So I teach the dog sit. When the dog is sitting, I release him, right? So I say sit, he sits, I say yes, and I release and pay. I release and pay at the same time. Because of that, I need now to build in what's called a bridge word. The bridge word is good. And when I say sit and I want the dog to hold the sit, I say good. In other words, now he's waiting for the release, but he's anticipating it, which makes a much faster obedience. That's what I've noticed in the way I train. If I say sit and release right away, the dog knows he's going to get released right away, so he's not going to go slowly into the sit thinking he's going to have to stay there for a long period of time. Now, once he understands that, then I go through and start to build the duration. So I do it quickly, command, release, then I go command, break, command, bridge word, and then break. That gets the dog a much faster reaction to that. All right, what does this say? Kilbo, you just made my wife's day. Love you guys and your videos. Thank you. I think I made Janet's day because Janet told me to do this. Where to start with a half Malinois, half Dutch Shepherd puppy? Basics. You got to go training. You guys always, one of the common questions I always get from you guys is, when should I start training my dog? What are the first things I should start? Just train the dog. Just train the dog. Hand feed the dog. Teach the dog to sit, to come, to down, to stay, to whatever. There is no right place to start training a dog. Okay, Mick or Mink. Mink, sorry. How to transition from needing to use hand signals to just saying the command on its own. So you're not using hand signals, you're luring the dog, right? So if you're still doing this with the treats, that's using luring, you're luring the dog. Hand signals is something that I teach after a verbal. So I lure the dog, then I transition them into just the verbals, and then from the verbals, I add in the hand signals. So that's maybe a little different way of doing it for that. Let's see. Okay, my GSD was purchased at 8 months old from a protection dog company. She's 16 months old now, and it has become dog aggressive. She goes everywhere with me, but now it's a hassle. Well, first of all, I don't know what kind of protection dog company would sell an 8-month-old puppy because it obviously wasn't trained for protection. Maybe it was just trained for obedience. And I would go back to those people and ask them that. A lot of times dog aggression can be a genetic thing. And because of that, because it's a genetic thing, it's very hard to train out of the dogs. You've got to build respect. You've got to build trust. You might have to bring the dog back to them and have them do some training. How can I leash train my German Shepherd? Needs help. He keeps pulling on the leash. Well, I've got 2 or 3 videos on YouTube that show how to do leash pressure and how to teach leash training. So I'd watch those because you're going to have to get the dog to acquiesce to that. Dana says, my 1-year-old lab goes psycho when we have company and jumps on them and sometimes barks at them. How can I stop that? Put the dog in a crate. Put him in a crate. Don't let him out. Don't let him see other people for now. And let him see that there's structure. There's a responsibility to being out of the crate. And if he's not going to be able to handle it, you put him in a crate. And when he comes out, you have him on a tether, on a leash. And he understands he has to go to a place. He has to acquiesce. In other words, people always say, how do I get my dog to not pee in the house? Don't let him pee in the house. Structure, 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 structure. Well, during this time, you're not going to have anybody coming over your house. And during this time, you're also going to have a lot of time to train your dog. So it gives you a lot of great opportunities. Okay, another one, Diablo, how to get jumped on. I already talked about all this jumping thing. How to improve compliances and speed, release faster. The faster you release your dog, the faster you release him, the faster he's going to go into the position. And the faster he goes into the position, then you just start to build duration. How do you tell a good breeder from the other 100 bad ones? Oh, man. I mean, that could be a whole podcast all by itself because in order to teach a dog a breed to, sorry, in order to get a breed to breed, I got all these questions popping up. I'm so sorry. A good breeder asks a lot of questions. They seem like nudges. They don't have dogs available. They're referred by other dog clubs. They're referred by other people. You can look online and see the genealogy of who they've bred. They know the back history of the dogs. They take dogs back if it doesn't work out. There's a million things. You don't find them on Craigslist. You don't find them on Puppy Finder and all these other bullshit sites. Okay, there's Janet. That's a good question. Janet's got all the answers too. Janet should have her own channel. How to introduce my 3-month-old German Shepherd with my parents' Chihuahuas. Chihuahuas are aggressive, palpably intimidated. Well, you want to be careful on that, but I would start by using a crate to introduce them so that the dog cannot be overly stressed out. Let them see it around. If the Chihuahua is going to be aggressive to him, it's not going to bode well. I wouldn't. People always get these little dogs and they're aggressive and it's really, really bad. So I'm going to go another 2 minutes because I don't want to overbore you guys. I'll be back here tomorrow, I promise. Janet's making me do it. You should have your own TV show. I should have my own TV show. This is kind of like my TV show, by the way, just so you know. I take this very, very seriously. This is like my TV show. If I tell my dog to lay down sitting, he knows, but has only been once and he gives a slow down instead of a regular quick down. Do I reward the dog? Yeah, you got to reward the dog. What here? Janet will answer a lot of questions for you guys here. Maima Pomsky has solid obedience, tons of engagement, etc., lots of structure. However, when we try to let him have a little more freedom in a small room out of the crate, I don't know. Please don't ask me really, really long questions. It's so hard. Do you think that if a dog is going potty in the house or possibly marking, that it's a sign the dog's being insecure? That really depends. It doesn't mean the dog's insecure, right? Just because the dog's going potty in the house it could mean a couple of things. It could mean it's a bladder infection. Could be doing something. He's marking. He's being dominant. He's being, he's afraid. He doesn't know clearly what you really want. That you want him to go outside. Potty training is always your fault. When a dog potty is in your house, you take a newspaper and you roll it up really, really, really tight. I mean, really tight, and you bash yourself in the head with it because you screwed up. That's it. Did I ever have a bully? No. I've trained hundreds and hundreds of bully type breeds. I've done so much work in the shelters with them. I prefer shepherds. I mean, I don't, Janet's a lab girl. I'm a shepherd guy, so that's it. almost said a shepherd boy. What's the best way to transition into giving the dog more freedom and teach him to relax outside of the crate while not training playing after? And that's just going to take you time. That's going to basically just be you taking the time to, you know, have the dog with you for a short period of time when you can watch him, when you can keep an eye on him, and then slowly taking him over to the time where he's not supervised. So first you supervise. I mean, just ask Janet about the sock issue. You got to really watch your dog. So anyway, I know Janet wants to go do yoga. I'm going to kind of sign off here. I'll tell you what, I'm heading over to Instagram right now to do a really quick session there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Janet, what time are we doing tomorrow? I'm asking Janet. I'm so glad you guys are here. You know, I mean, this means the world to me. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate being able to help you guys with your dogs because, yeah, what sock issue? Janet, everybody wants to know what time tomorrow. So we need to pick a time for tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe around 11 California time. Okay, so 11 a.m. tomorrow, I'll be here, but go to robertcabral.com, go to my site. It's going to be a link on the bottom, what time I'll be here every day, and I'll be doing that. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's a 30-minute thing. Love you guys. Please give your dog a big hug for me and Janet. Love your older dogs. We are here for you. We're gonna support you guys through this coronavirus and make your life with your dogs better. That's what we're gonna do. Do something positive for somebody today. Smile at somebody. Do something really, really, really positive and give your dog a hug. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.